Hello, Serge here from the Backyard Driving Range. I have a question from customer service that came into them and sent on to me, and this comes from Jenny Pook. She says, "Hi Serge, I am an avid student of yours and have the PPGS videos. One problem I seem to have and can't resolve is on a downward swing. I have the habit of throwing my body at the ball before my arms, especially if it's windy. I sometimes also feel that my hips are in the way and I have to swing them round to move my arms. Well, that's the message my brain is receiving. Can you help, please? Jenny." All right, Jenny, I think we can help. I think that the brain sends messages based on what it senses in the movement. And remember, as we said, the balance system is designed to help you keep you standing up no matter what. You don't have to think about it. It's an automatic system. So A, if your setup is incorrect to begin with, which could be alignment or posture, or both, the brain is automatically into, the balance system in the brain is automatically into compensations even at the very start of the golf swing. The first move has to be an adjustment. So I think we got some setup issues, and I think that, and those setup issues will define, I think, what you're feeling. All right? So first and foremost, your upper body is always seems to be moving first. So there's a timing issue there. Timing is the proper sequential movement of parts of the body. And so if the upper body's moving first in a downswing all the time, the key is that we know the lower body's supposed to move first with the lateral shift, the bump, and then swing up. But you can't seem to do that. And so one of the things could be, let's just start mentally. Peak performance golf swing, my theory to hitting the ball is that we want shallow divots. We want to pick the ball off the ground, nip it, tear the grass out of the ground, not hit down and dig it. So hitting down is a movement that will automatically always start the upper shoulders. Because when you're up here at the top, boom, if you're trying to hit down, you're pulling the club down so hard, you're very likely going to engage the shoulders first, and they're going to be moving. And if the shoulders start moving, trying to hit down the ball, your body's moving forward and ahead. All right? So there's one instinct, just the thought right there of hitting down can do it. So if you want to nip the ball off the ground, you stay back, you'll be able to stay back more, and you nip it, the club just bounces or ricochets off the ground. So I've cured people with some of this problem just by changing their mental attitude of how they're hitting the ball. The second one could be is if say you're a right-handed golfer, you're aiming out to the right. So if you're aiming out to the right and you're trying to hit the ball straight, you have to turn your shoulders more in your body to get the club back towards it, being able to swing down that line. Because the impact is on, square at impact and solid. All right? And so anytime you have to do that, anytime you're turning your shoulders, you're turning your body to start, whether it be even if you start with your knees and your hips turning faster, it's still going to pull your shoulders with it. And because you're engaging your arms faster, it's starting to feel like your shoulders are really doing everything. But they could be following your knees and if you're turning too fast because of alignment. All right? So if you're aiming right for a right-hander, left for a left-hander, and you're pulling it back to the line, there's your out and over the top and the shoulders leading. Another one could be, even if and this will be even more aggravated if you are aiming right, if you have this setup issue. And even if you have perfect alignment with the setup issue, you'll still very likely move your shoulders first. And that is if you're reaching too far for the ball and you're bent over too much. That would mean your weight's kind of towards your toes. And so now once you start swinging, you have to, if you took the club straight back, you tend to fall forward. So what tends to happen? We tend to suck the club back inside. So as soon as you suck the club back inside, very likely it's going to make you start turning more in your backswing. Very likely your forward leg is going to move more, and knee and foot is going to move more. You turn more, you're going to get deep, and if you're deep, even with perfect alignment, you're still in a sacred burial ground. You have to get out. And to get out first, to come back to the line, over the top. Again, another issue part of that would be not only just deep, but a double whammy would be to be deep and swinging too long, because now this changes your spine angle where you'll be tilted down this with the forward, and now that'll accentuate the turn even more and a steeper angle down to the ball. All right, I think any case of hitting into the wind causing it more is because very likely you're trying to keep the ball lower maybe, and that moves you ahead. All right, so I think we can basically see that it's very likely the swing issues are caused by some type of setup issues. And I'm going to bet on the alignment. I'm going to bet on the fact that there's a good possibility you're reaching too much, because again, part of reaching is feeling, you feel strong as your arms get stretched out, but unfortunately when you start reaching too much, you have to tighten your back up more to try to stop you from tumbling forward, and so you tighten that up, and then very likely it's going to get you into too big a turn. And let's say you have good posture. Let's go to the other side of the coin. Let's say you do have good posture. And you might even have good alignment. You might have it all. The setup looks great. But your first move is to do what? You suck the club inside, you turn too much, take too big a turn, get the club back, overswing. You're back in the same problem with the fact that if you're in the sacred burial ground, you have to get out, because golf is like life. What goes around comes around. We always have to get the club back to on, and on to hit the ball relatively straight. And that's what everybody's trying to do. People don't come into me for a golf lesson and say, hey, I want to hit a 20-yard draw and I want to hit a 20-yard slice. They all say, I want to hit the ball relatively straight. And so that means on, square and solid. So anytime you're overturning, and again, being a lady, it is much more critical to make sure that you don't overturn and overswing, because it's so much easier for ladies, because ladies, by virtue of their more supple and flexible than men, so therefore you all can turn, ladies can turn more than a man and get back there with less stress and strain. But yet they don't have the upper body strength to hopefully save the shot as much as a man could do it, where he's got more upper body strength to kind of get control of the club and try to get it on the ball. Might not hit great shots, might even hit bad shots, but he's got a better chance of hitting the shot because he can eventually try to somewhat get better control of the club. So with ladies, the biggest thing I usually see is even with good setups and pretty good alignment, if that left knee, that forward knee is going crazy at all, and moving too much in there, and especially if the foot's coming up, that means, boom, too much turn. You're deep in the sacred burial ground, you're long, and now you have to use your body to help you swing the club because you don't have as much upper body strength. So for women, I would say probably if your alignment's good, your setup's pretty good, the thing to look at is very likely, very, very likely, too much turn and too long a backswing. So when you get in the sacred burial ground, you have to come out to get back to the target. All right, so look at that, and that's the thing I see consistently with any lessons I give to ladies and even young girls. And what I also see if I'm just out on the golf course and I see ladies on the practice tee or on the golf course, I look over there and I just see way too much of this, and I'm always seeing way too much spine angle tilt, because as you turn too much, the spine starts to tilt forward, EBRT, and then get deep in the sacred burial ground too long, you got to get out. What goes around comes around. So we got the myriad of things from the setup, and if your setup's perfect, just look at your swing, because the odds are, historically, I've seen it time after time, the ladies with their suppleness and flexibility turn too much, get into the sacred burial ground, swing too long, and then to come back out, you're out and across, out and in, body's moving forward, and there's that forward movement you're talking about. So 3/4 backswing, right? Just get in here, 3/4 limited turn, and in the catcher's mitt, 3/4, stand the club up, and from there, when you get in here, bang, and you stand right up to a dead tee finish, square to the target, and you'll be hitting the ball much more solid and straight and shooting those low scores. That's it from the Search for today, and I'll be talking to you all again soon.